Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. Fire burning from my dust, smoking now I pull it up. I won't stop, so don't confront. Too much about to be a grunt. Watch my back and off the front. You drop it off, I pick it up. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us.
On behalf of the Proud Boys, I would like to apologize for the following broadcast, in which many words will be said that should not be, many opinions will be given that are completely asinine. And did somebody take me off?
No, you're good.
No, I'm black on the screen. God damn. You know,
It's on your side. I
this
can
is
see you.
this is what happens when you
That's
try to have it.
Hey.
No, now he's gray for real.
Now he's great for real.
I could see the bounce on the audio. I don't know if like the guests can hear it. Evie Mux has been having a couple problems right now. Patty is paused. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey, Reno, you got that guest
I can't
thing?
send it. I can't send it in group chat
You can't. Oh, because you don't have a fucking iPhone.
because I don't have an iPhone. I don't have a Apple fucking computer like you do. I don't have that kind of money.
Jesus Christ.
I don't have
Okay,
Apple
hold on.
money.
Fishback, convo, film. Hold on, I'll get it. Stand by. Now I hear your fucking fan like a motherfucker.
Yeah, now we hear your fan. Like
All
a
right.
motherfucker.
All right, fine. I'll turn
Whatever
it
your
off.
audio. All right, we're already
Oh,
starting
and your
horrible
fucking
here.
and your goddamn internet's horrible, dude.
Mine?
No, him. He's
No, his internet.
he's frozen as fuck.
Is he?
Yeah.
Patty, come in and out.
The hell's wrong with your shit, Patty?
And
All right.
we're trying to get Zach in here a second. Hold on.
Yeah. There you go, Patty. You're good. Welcome back.
I had a good intro going, man. You know,
Damn
and
it.
then-
There we go. You want to start it off again? Or is the fire
yeah,
out?
run the intro
Yeah,
again.
run the intro
Okay,
again.
I'm gonna
Run the
go.
intro again.
hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. I'm gonna pretend to run
I
the
dare
intro
you to
again.
do it.
Oh, there you go.
Welcome to a broadcast that nobody asked for, but you will have to tolerate for the next hour and a half. Enrique Tarrio created this network in a completely idiotic idea that you could put a bunch of jerk-offs from January 6th and then like one liberal and some broad from West Virginia, and get people to watch it. So what we're going to do tonight is try to do our best to broadcast commentary on a very important speech, I guess, that's going to be given by the President of the United States, Donald Trump. We'll see how well that goes. But Enrique, do you have anything to say about what do you have to say for yourself?
Listen, I don't know. Maybe I agree with you. Maybe I don't. I think it's going to be important, and I think it's going to be actionable. Now, will he say that he's going to take action and then take action? I think that's what's going to happen here. Obviously, we're not going to see like fucking arrests right now, but I think what he's going to say, given the status of the DOJ and how strongly they've come after people, I think you might see two senators in jeopardy.
You mean Cornyn and Tillis?
No,
correct?
no, not Cornyn. Well, Tillis is gone, and so is Cornyn, but Ossoff and Warnock.
Oh, yeah. The Georgia.
It's Georgia.
kids.
It's the two Georgia senators.
Okay.
What do you think, Reno?
Well, I mean, yeah, you did see what's her name go. They raided that fucking place in Georgia. You know,
Twice.
early-
No,
couple
actually,
of-
like
yeah,
3 or
a couple
4
of months
times.
ago. So
No, last week they raided it again.
oh well, earlier they raided it a couple of months ago. Remember? That's crazy. So maybe they found something, or maybe they're just gonna announce that they're gonna investigate the investigations of the investigators.
Which is exactly what's going to happen. That's
So wait,
exactly what's going to happen.
Patty, humor me a second. So let's
Sure.
say for a second that everything we're saying is true and they're going to take action. What do you think the repercussions of something like this would be? That China. So this is the speculation. China not only it wasn't that they were influencing the election, that they actually meddled in the election.
Right. Well, if they can prove that, here's what's going to happen. They're going to accuse China of doing that. And then they're going to say, we'll give you the proof of this in about 2 weeks. And then it will never happen. And we'll just move on. And the purpose of this whole thing is just to say that, hey, the midterms are not legit and you can't trust it. And we know we're going to get our asses kicked, so you can't trust it. And it's the same thing, if I were to play a baseball game when I was a kid, hey, we'll play the game, but the umps are going to cheat. Bless you. The umps are going to cheat. So why bother playing the game? Well, yeah, seriously, why bother playing the game? Like, this is all just bullshit. What he's gonna do is cry about some stuff and never give us evidence, because if he had evidence, it would already have been, given in court. But he doesn't, and he never has. He never will.
What if there's prosecution ready? Well, wait, hold on. Let me bring in Zach. Zach, what's up, buddy? I had to rush to get you the link. You hear me?
What's going on?
What's up, bud?
Not too much. Watch this speech. Yeah,
I got it ready. I got it queued up. It looks like they're still.
He'll be an hour and a half late at least.
All right, there. I'm not going to disagree with you. The dude's going to be late as fuck.
Fashionably late. He's gonna be fashionably late.
He's definitely going to be late. But you don't think so? So you kind of like skirted the question here. So.
Oh no, I didn't.
If these things were true.
Yeah, but they're not true, is what I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying if they're not true. I'm saying if they are true, what are the ramifications of something like this?
I don't know that there's any precedent for that. Like, if it is true, like, okay, so I'll play the game. If it is true, if you could prove, voter fraud on a massive scale, which you never will be able to do, but in some fantasy land where you could do that, right? I don't know if there's any legal ramification. Like, how do you go back?
Hey guys, take this a second. I'll be right
10
back.
years, 6 years, and do that. Maybe there is some sort of legal, remedy that I'm not aware of. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I don't know. That, Zach is much more, educated in that respect than I am. So maybe he could give an opinion on that would be more, intelligent than mine. But I don't. Seriously, we're still talking about shit that happened 6 years ago. I mean, you guys got to fucking let it go. I mean, really, you do have to let it go and move on with your lives. You just have to. That's just the way it's going to work.
I can't disagree with you, Patty. I think they see the midterms coming up and they know that they're not in a good spot with the midterms. And
they're going to get crushed.
So they have to at somehow cast doubt on our voting system. I'm not saying, look, I believe personally that January 6th was stolen. There was some shady shit, blah blah blah, whatever. But I think they're just going to try to cast doubt on our voting system because they're scared of what's going to happen in the midterms.
So Zach, what do you think's going to happen now in the next couple minutes? I mean, he's still late, so.
I don't believe anything realistically will happen out of it. I mean, for one, a lot of the players that were involved in any alleged voting fraud schemes were pardoned by Biden. That's a big problem that they have to overcome. And then there's also like the statutes of limitations that's also going to be something that's going to be coming into play too. So, it's been 5 years. It has been a while. But, Trump has every right to investigate this because it's something that if it's true, it shouldn't ever happen in this country again. And we need to figure out every single way we can prevent it from happening again. But, at the same time, Trump wasn't in office for 4 years. He didn't have it the attorney generals and the DOJ at his disposal. So it's not like he was able to realistically thoroughly investigate this kind of stuff. I mean, he lost the election allegedly, November 5th, 2020, and he's out of office January 20th. I mean, to really conduct a thorough investigation under, throughout multiple states, I think it was 6 states that were in question. It was next to impossible, especially when there was a lot of people that we called them rhinos who were working in his orbit that weren't willing to work with him. Bill Barr was one of them. Bill Barr has come out to basically be a never Trumper, and he was working as the lead attorney general in the DOJ at the time, and he wanted nothing to do with investigating anything with the election fraud. So a lot of people forget that stuff, I don't, but I sat in jail for 4 years thinking about it, but it is what it is. It should be interesting. Like I said, if he has proof, he has proof, but I don't know that there's realistically going to be anything legally can be done.
So spoken. Oh, wait, here we go.
Is safer, stronger, and far wealthier than it has ever been before. We are doing great. Less than 2 years ago, we inherited an economic and social disaster after the worst inflation in 48 years.
He's always got to kick it off like
wide
this.
open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from
Let me see
all
if I
over
could
the
increase
world,
the size.
including
Stand by.
criminals of all types, and 11,888 murderers, many of whom killed more than one person. We had transgender for everybody, men and women's sports, crime ravaging our cities, and the whole world was laughing at us as a nation, but not anymore. 2 years ago, our country was dead. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. America is respected like we have never been respected before. We have more money being invested in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. More Americans are working today than ever before. This week it was announced that inflation saw the largest monthly decline in more than 6 years. Just happened. It was just given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The tax cuts in our great, big, beautiful bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars, like with the provisions, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, along with the interest deduction on a loan used to purchase a car, but only if that car is made in America, and a 100% expensing for our job-creating businesses. Our stock markets are at their highest point in many years, but we can actually say of all time. And your 401ks, pensions, and retirement accounts are setting records every single day, the highest in history. For years, we paid the highest price for prescription drugs anywhere in the world. Now we pay the lowest price under my most favored nation's policy, because I was able to get the rest of the world and the pharmaceutical companies to act responsibly. Drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, and 90%. TrumpRx.gov, this will ultimately reduce the cost of health care. You have to go to TrumpRx.gov and take advantage of it.
He's just shooting the
cost
plugs.
of healthcare is coming way down because of what we've done with
Nobody's
prescription
drug
drugs.
prices have gone down.
And with
That's
Trump accounts,
fucking
every
ridiculous.
child in
Oh, they
America
have,
now has
We'll
access
talk
to
about that
a
after.
tax-free investment account to save
Taking
for their
notes.
future. Billions and billions of dollars are being invested, put in by companies and individuals to take care of our children so that at age 18 they will have potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in their account, and they'll get off to a great start in life. So for that, go to TrumpAccounts.gov.
Second plug,
and
baby.
sign up your
Just plug in
child or any
1776
child
dot
that'd
shop.
like to sign up.
That's actually not a bad
Previously
policy.
wide
That's a
open
good one. I
borders
like
have
that
been
one.
transformed into the most secure borders in the history of our country, with zero illegal aliens being admitted to the United States in the past 14 months. That is zero. Nobody thought it was possible. We had the
Because
worst
it isn't,
border
because zero is not
in the
possible.
history of our country, and now we have the best. Crime is plummeting nationwide, with the murder rate at its lowest level
beat that one,
since
Patty.
1900,
Murder rate.
or more than
No, it's
125
really good.
years ago.
It's really good.
We're making a record
really good.
investment in our armed forces, and we have the strongest and most powerful military by far anywhere in the world.
He
I
proved
built it
that,
during
too.
my first term, and unfortunately, we're forced to use it now. We won in Venezuela, which
Nobody
is now
forced us
working
to
with
use
us
it
to
now, you
produce
fucking
millions
asshole.
and millions
You
of
forced us
barrels
to
of
use
oil.
it.
We are likewise winning big in
Israel
Iran,
forced
and
us to
you will
use it.
see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly. America is back and doing really
in 2
well.
weeks we'll win the
But we
war in
still
Iraq.
have a major
Fucking
challenge that
bastard.
must be urgently
2 weeks
addressed
to flatten the curve.
because no country can be great without fair and honest elections.
You guys are so negative.
You have to trust your country because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness. And that's very simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure.
Oh, he's gonna need
One
some
where
water.
cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes and really exposes like levels never thought possible to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years
doing
been
exactly what I said
covered
he was
up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force,
I'm gonna
a
start
great
looking for
group
them.
of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings. We are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov.
Not
Go
going to
check
make
it
it
out.
through this with that voice.
Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in
He's about to
elections,
suck his own
but
tongue.
to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing. The documents cover 5 major areas of concern. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history,
Patty, how do you
resulting in
actually think this
China's
is
illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare. The intelligence even shows that China assigned a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project. Compounding the travesty, the second set of documents we are releasing reveals that members of the deep state, very famous group of people, in many cases, in our intelligence agency work to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling, covering it up from both the president and U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020 when they discovered that tens of millions of voter data, think of that, tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states have been bought, stolen, or hacked by China. Yet those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden. They did not disclose to me as president or to anyone else, and to the best of our knowledge, they did not inform Congress. In fact, all they kept saying is, this is the most secure election in the history of our country, a standard, very pat line that was divvied out to say. The cover-up of this colossal security breach is even more disturbing in light of the additional information showing that China engaged in other election-related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign. They did not want, and they just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA
All our
reporting
electronics just went up by
explicitly stated,
20%.
and I quote,
That
in
sounds great.
mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his re-election. Isn't that nice? Also, in mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the United States was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job, and they did everything possible to do exactly that. Going on, this document says, and this is by the CIA, the strategy included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to influence U.S. business leaders to turn against the President of the United States of America. The Chinese government sought to identify U.S. journalists who had reported negatively on the U.S. president and pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could, and they didn't care what they said. The Chinese government wanted U.S. president to lose the next election, and the reason they wanted me to lose is because they knew I was wise to them, charged them billions and billions of dollars worth of tariffs, and built the strongest military anywhere in the world. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world. These are exact quotes from the CIA reporting. The name of the person doing the quote is now under review, but it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020, yet buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that China's activities even included an attempt to manufacture illegal ballots for Joe Biden. Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out that was of importance. One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be blatantly political. Recently, we found significant numbers of burn bags in formation, and this is a group of bags that were used to destroy information given by President Barack Hussein Obama to be burned. It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different people, incinerated and checked, but it never happened. Maybe we got lucky. We believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross incompetence of the people that were supposed to burn the bags. But the findings are stunning. Today, I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people. Yet concealing China's meddling was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems. Dishonest almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that. Tonight, we're publishing a series of previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments and other reports proving that our government has long known these machines are extremely exposed to attack. As one assessment states, we judge that the United States adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, as well as non-state groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. That's unquote, but that's some statement, isn't it? Made by supposedly great patriots of our country. The document goes on to further state that, quote, we assess that centralized election-related data repositories, such as voter registration databases, poll books, and other official election websites, are most vulnerable to exploitation, and adversaries could use this access to these systems to disrupt election processes within the United States of America. Tonight, we're releasing all of those findings, and spanning from January 2020 to June 2026. This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy. Many people have questioned whether it could actually be possible to electronically manipulate vote totals or change election results on these terrible machines. Today, we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro regime in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020, and that's what they did. This reporting included precise details about methods to regime develop to digitally alter vote totals in ways that could not be detected even with an audit, no matter how deep they went. This intelligence underscores why we must take urgent action to ensure that our own system can never, ever be hacked or compromised like it was in the past. The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State Police raided a Democrat Get Out the Vote organization, corrupt group in Muskegon. And we're so concerned by what they found. They were just so concerned, they couldn't believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by
Hello?
the DHS review
That's Twitter.
state voter rolls and public records. They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered to vote. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible. Hundreds of millions of U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments, Our machines and ballot counting systems are exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been buried. Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls.
A dead person is
and
giving
yet
this
we
address.
still have elections with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail. As one example of the insanity, California's recent election for mayor of LA and governor was held on June 2nd, a long time ago, but it was just completed a few days ago on July 10th. Think of that, much more than 1 month.
Actually, saw the
It took a month to count the votes. I wonder what they were doing. This is
I saw a
worse
report
than
on that
any
today,
third
just an
world
hour
country.
before we
There's
went
no
live.
third world country that has elections
You
like
do the whole
this.
state in a few hours, but it takes
In a
the
rare
city to
move,
do it.
NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't
whole
have a
country
great
fell
country
asleep.
without
The whole country
free
is
and fair elections.
It's just
Fraud like
us.
this
Oh,
should
I'm awake,
mean
baby.
a
I'm
revocation
awake.
of their
Yeah.
licenses.
I'm
Yeah, but
writing
it's
notes.
just
They
us.
use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for multi-billion-dollar assets.
I've been drinking since
Great
8 o'clock in
damage
the
has
morning,
been done
and I'm
to our
slurring less
country.
than him.
Our elections
This is bullshit.
were left vulnerable to being rigged and stolen, and the trust of the American people was lost. This cannot be allowed to continue. Every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, really, we should be together, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everybody, and it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to divide us. This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided. In light of the brand new and
gonna be
irrefutable
asleep.
information
Who
I have
cares if
revealed
we're
tonight,
united? We're going to
my
be
administration is in the
unconscious.
process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that sensitive voter data is better protected so we can never be bought, we can never be hacked, and we
better
can
hurry
never
up,
watch a stolen election
gonna lose the-
again.
Yeah, this,
Tomorrow,
this
gonna
the
lose
Secretary of
everything I
Homeland
could have hoped
Security will
for.
hold a briefing
Confidence in the
to outline his department's recent work confirming cyber vulnerabilities in our electronic voting systems. They are bad. We're in the process of informing governors, senators, and members of Congress of potential issues in their states. If you look at voting today, it's in such bad shape in so many states, and we are committing to fix it.
Casting doubt
And
on
we're
the-
also committing to be working with those states and local jurisdictions to help them fix and patch known technical vulnerabilities before the midterm elections. We have very important elections coming up. We want those elections to be honest. I've also ordered DHS to notify every state about non-citizens on their voter rolls and direct them to remove all ineligible voters from the lists immediately. But most importantly, addressing this crisis of election security demands that Congress must pass the Save America Act.
There it is.
How
Not
easy is that
going
to do
to happen.
unless you want to cheat?
We need 60 votes. We don't have it.
Only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad
Kill the filibuster.
and your candidates
You got
are so
50.
bad.
Hey,
The
well,
problem
that
is
you
the
can't
problem
get
is
away
that
or
no,
can't
they're
get
not voting
elected
for it
any
because they
other
both
way.
use it.
This landmark
Yeah,
bill requires
exactly.
that
The
all
rhinos use
voters
it.
must
Stay in
show
power.
Photo,
That's the only reason why the rhinos
voter
have jobs.
ID. How simple is that? Could I have your photo, please? Photo, voter ID. All voters must provide proof of citizenship. Are you a citizen of our country, please? And hopefully there will be no corrupt mail-in ballots, which if you watched California and so many other places, mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt. So you would have no mail-in ballots except for illness,
with that.
disability, military deployment, or travel if you're going away on business or vacation. These reforms are urgently needed.
God damn it. That's a Chinese. That's a Chinese right now.
The phone tomorrow, call your representatives in the House and Senate and demand that they pass the Save America Act without delay. Together we will restore faith and confidence in our
Never
country.
going to happen.
And we will be
Neither side
bigger,
wants it.
better, and stronger than ever before. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our great military. And God bless America. Thank you very much.
All right. Let me make sure there's nothing else. Thank you for joining.
Surprised he made it through that shit.
We're moving off the screen. Okay, let me do the format because there's 4 of us here and we'll go all over the place. We'll do sort of kind of like our own thoughts on what we saw, and then I want to go through some questions. Obviously, like I said in the beginning, he's not going to announce right there and then we're going to arrest these people. I never thought that was going to happen. I think that most of you didn't think that was going to happen. It's not realistic. He was very specific on dates, although obviously if we just put the portion in where he's talking about the fraud and not like his accomplishments in the beginning, which he does on every speech, that's not nothing new. He had specifics. He had dates. I think that this is just, I don't think he's blowing smoke up anybody's ass here. And then when I get to questions, I'll tell you why. It's obvious, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, that election fraud is a thing. If you've ever worked elections, right, and you've ever door knocked, and you've ever canvassed, and you've ever gone to harvest votes at like an adult living facility, you know exactly how it works. If you've ever had a home, a multifamily home, where you get mail from other people, and you get those mail-in ballots, anybody can fill them out, and anybody could send them back, okay? And then to talk about, do other countries, we have, and Reno said something important. He's like, I don't trust anything that the CIA does or says. And that's a fair assessment. And I think somebody's fan's going off. Patty, that might be you.
Patty's fan. Loud ass fan. You sit in there and sweat, son of a bitch.
So to say that other countries' intelligence agencies aren't the same and that they don't have the capability to do it is simply ignorant, right? Because they would want to do it. And specifically with the country that he stated, China, right? And we know the meme. We know the Trump meme. China, 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 right? He always says China. If I was China and the leader of the free world, our competition, right? You would want to do everything in your power to take him out so you could continue to do what you do. They feel like they're doing the right thing, right? They're influencing our election or hacking our systems, and we're doing it to them. To think that our CIA does not do that to other countries is also ignorant. So I'll close with that, and then I'll go to Zach, and then we'll go in the order that we're placed here. Go ahead, Zach.
I thought it was very interesting. I mean, it was nice to actually see him come out and say all this stuff. But for me, this is probably new for a lot of people. But for me, a lot of the stuff that he said, most of the stuff he said was just like things I already knew about. Because during 2020, at the end of the year and everything like that, like I remember seeing stuff about China printing these ballots and shipping them to America. I don't know how true any of it was, but like I heard about it. I remember seeing reports on it. I watched the other thing was I read sworn affidavits from a lot of the poll workers in various states, but also watched the state legislature interviews that they had with these same poll workers and everything. And they alleged a lot of the stuff that he talked about, so and I think that's probably where he got a lot of these dates from and everything. But I don't know. It's just anybody who's really paying attention, like somebody just said, like we've known it for years. Like pretty much everything he said, for anybody who's really passionate about the 2020 election, knew all this stuff already. It's my thing is, and I'm still gonna hold out hope because he's got 2.5 years left in his presidency that something happens with it, and whether it leads to the Save America Act getting passed, which I doubt, just because we need 60 votes, unless the rhinos grow a pair of balls and decide that they're gonna they're gonna do the standing filibuster thing that you mentioned earlier, Enrique. But I don't see them doing that, because I think we all agree here that the rhinos they utilize election fraud just as much as the Democrats do to stay in power. And election fraud is a real thing, and I really think that, like, if there was legitimate elections in our country, that a lot of these scumbags wouldn't be getting elected on a daily basis. There's a lot of these old dinosaurs that are in office that don't do anything except for just tell all these younger generations what to do. Essentially, I know that's a huge issue, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed. I was hoping that there's going to be something new that I didn't really know about. So, but I still have faith that they're going to do something. Well, and we'll see. I don't know what that's going to be, but
Addy.
Yeah, obviously it was going to be a bullshit speech, and he was going to promise things he's not going to do. This is the whole, in 2 weeks I'll do this, except we're not going to do that. It was exactly what I expected, except I thought that he was a little bit more shaky than I thought he would be. He was really shaky. And, okay, fine. The president's senile, Reagan was senile, Biden was senile. Now Trump is senile. So it's not like we haven't survived senile presidents. But the idea that anybody would think that the thing that I find the hardest to believe about you guys, like, because you understand that I really do actually like a lot of you guys, and not necessarily Reno, but the rest of you, I actually do like as people. I don't understand why you could possibly in any universe think that this guy gives a shit about you, because he doesn't. He doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. I think he doesn't even give a shit about his kids, except for the one he wants to fuck with, which is, Ivanka. But, the rest of it.
This fucking guy, dude.
Where did you get this guy?
So I would just say that like the fact that he came out with absolutely nothing tonight, right? He said, "Well, we're gonna have." I mean, what of substance did he say tonight? Nothing at all. I didn't expect him to say anything of substance. He's not going to do anything. He's just trying to jerk you guys off, as he always does. Oh, maybe I'll pull on your prick and tell you that, hey, we're going to have some election reform. He's not going to do any of that. He's not going to do any of that. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to say, hey, I won the 2020 election. And for him, all he has to do to make that happen is to say, because he believes he can speak things into existence, right? That's one of his big deals, right? I can just say something and it becomes true. So that's all it is, man. And I feel like you guys are just getting played for suckers, man. Like, and I feel bad, because I think you guys should just walk away from this dude and just say, hey, you know what? We're moving on. You got different political opinions than him, because he doesn't have political opinions. He just has, stuff that's good for him. Just let him go, man. Let him go. It's not. He's going to be a lame duck anyway, really soon. So just let the fucking guy go.
Reno.
For Christ's sake.
Yeah, man. I look, dude. I hate to agree with Patty a lot, but I mean, there's a lot that Patty said that I agree with. Trump knows that, and it's exactly what I said before, that Trump knows that the midterms elections are coming up, and that a lot of these guys are going to get a lot of these rhinos, or a lot of these Republicans are going to get their ass beat, and it's scary. It's scary for them. It's scary for the country, and it's scary for the world. It's going to make him a lame duck president. And if he can somehow cast doubt about the election that's coming up, which is going to be the midterm election, and then he's going to do it because it's going to help him, right? So people are going to be like, oh well, fuck, I don't trust this shit anyways, and it gives the ones that lose the excuse either on either side, right? Whether they're Democrat or Republican, well, if they lose, they can say, well, hell, the president even fucking just came out and said on national TV that the election machines in our elections don't have any integrity.
It's working the refs.
Absolutely.
It's working the refs
absolutely.
is what it's doing. Yeah.
We'll take that.
Absolutely.
We'll take that argument away and just pass the Save America Act. Then you don't have shit. You don't have shit.
But Zach, you know that the Save America Act is not going to pass. Not only is it not going to pass, they both use it. Both sides use it. The Democrats use it, and the rhinos use it also.
Then why would the president be pushing it?
Oh, because he's
trying
got to muster
work the refs.
He's got to
He's
muster
trying to work the
votes,
refs.
right? The American people want it, right?
Yeah.
So they dangle that
something-
carrot. They dangle that carrot out there, and say, well, we got to get this to get the voters pumped up. So then, I've got to fix this in November. It's just not going to happen.
Reno, but you don't.
But Enrique,
you don't. Hold on, Patty. Hold on, Reno. But you don't truly believe that Trump doesn't want to pass the SAVE Act, or do you?
I believe he does, but I don't think he gives a shit if it passes or not. He wants to pass it. It would be good. Because it would give them more. It would solidify them more in power.
Patty, you said something.
Yeah, so say I would have a compromise with you guys, like you talk about, voter ID and all that stuff, because, I firmly believe that the only people who should be voting in this country are citizens of this country, or who are eligible to vote, right? And I also believe that.
Are you against how California does their electoral votes?
Well, they don't in federal elections. Can't vote if state local elections. No, I don't like that much at all.
Well, no, not even local. And I'm actually finish your cue, and I'm going to hit the California thing really quick. Go ahead.
So I think that the only people who should be able to vote are citizens of this country. I mean, I think that's a fairly universal idea. But what I would say is that if they want to pass a voter ID law, I'm good with that. I can live with that, except you can't charge a penny for it. You cannot charge a dime for it. You can't charge a nickel for it. If there's an ID that costs you money to get it, then that's not right. But if it's free, yeah, I'm good with that. So if you can go to the DMV or you can go to the registry or whatever it is, and you can get your ID to vote, and your state says that you have to have that ID to vote, I don't have a problem with that at all. But if you
didn't
have
we
to
do
pay a
that?
penny
Don't we
for it-
have here in Florida? Don't we have the
lot of states
stars,
do.
right? So we have the stars,
Yeah.
right? The
but
real
that's-
ID,
right,
right?
Well, real ID is a little different than a federal.
No,
Yeah, but
real
doesn't
ID
that-
is actually a
Doesn't
pain in the ass.
doesn't that tell you that you are a citizen, right? I mean, you have to have a birth certificate, social security number, blah blah blah, all this other bullshit that you have to take down to the.
No,
so if
all
they don't
I'm
have
saying-
that real ID, then they don't vote.
Not necessarily. Real ID just
all I'm
verifies
saying-
your address
yeah.
by multiple on multiple.
Yeah.
You can go.
No
you
one-
can go in there. You could go in there and get a real ID, and circumvent it without having your birth certificate. But go ahead.
Yep. So what I'm saying is, if it doesn't cost you money, then I'm all right with it, right? Because I don't believe in poll taxes, right? And that's what a poll tax is. If you have to pay money to vote, you have a constitutional right to vote. You don't need to have, you don't need to pay for that, right? So I'm good with that. I think we can make a reasonable compromise on that, right? I think we can do that.
I don't know, man. I've never voted.
As long as it's free. Then,
I've never
then that'll
voted in
work
another
for me.
state besides Florida, so
Patty.
I don't understand how others.
So we'll actually touch on that right now, Patty. You were watching tentatively on election night, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and I remember this. I don't remember what the combination was, but there was a combination where 1 point, right? It would be dictated by 1 point, depending on how those 7 states came in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously that scenario didn't happen, and he swept all 7 battleground states.
Yeah.
But now going back to your California situation,
Which I admit, and you guys never.
yeah,
would.
no, but you're agreeing, and I think you agree with at least 90% of Americans, like regular working class Americans, when you say you don't want illegals to vote in the election, because you hear some Democrats say that too, right? Some.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the problem isn't if they're voting in the California election. The thing is, California now, I believe it's 54 now, but when California had 55 electoral votes, 4 of them were based on the population of people that weren't citizens of the United States.
Well, it's illegal to vote as a.
Well, we're not. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing that the 55 electoral votes that are given to California for the win, right? Winner take all. Right. 4 of those points account for illegals, people that don't have American citizenship.
Right.
You knew that. Did you? I think we've mentioned it before. You knew that.
Well, what I think we should do is go ahead. I think I agree. We should get rid of the electoral college, and then we're all set, right?
No, but then we wouldn't be a republic, right?
No. We can be a republic, and based on democracy. Not
a democracy, a constitutional republic.
Yeah.
We can be a constitutional republic based on democracy without the electoral college. I really don't think that's a requirement.
You think it's fair that cultures in big cities have a bigger platform than smaller states and smaller rural areas?
I believe that people vote and land doesn't.
That's the thing. The electoral college has basically balanced out our entire country as far as who we elect to power for beginning of this country. I mean, it's been a very effective system that gave smaller states a voice over larger cities, essentially. Because if you looked at the data right now, if you did a popular vote, New York and California would literally elect every single president for.
Yeah, but my question is that Zach, what you're saying is so say you have one state and it has, I don't know, one fucking electoral college vote or what, two,
the minimum
three
two.
electoral, yeah, two electoral, and then you got California. It's got what, 55?
Yeah, but those little states add up. I mean, we have 50 states, and a lot of times those little states have actually swung the election. And Trump, in his first term, was an example. George Bush was another example. There's a lot of times where presidents lose the popular vote, but they still win the electoral college and become president.
I grew up.
That's because of the smaller states.
I grew up in the smallest state in the country, right, in Rhode Island, and
Puerto Rico.
We still have. We have 2 senators, and so does the state of Texas. Mm-hmm. Do you think that makes any fucking sense?
Yeah, it does. It actually does make sense. Yeah, the House of Commons, and the House of Lords are put together like that for that.
No, we were supposed to leave that nonsense when we started the new.
No. We weren't supposed to leave it.
Not drag it.
We were supposed to get the best. We were supposed to get the best situation.
So you think that
I actually think that and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's the 17th Amendment. I think the 17th Amendment should be abolished.
Yeah, I know you all do because it
makes sense. It makes sense
because
it gets
it doesn't.
Yes, it makes sense.
Because what it
takes somebody
that's
powerful. You take them out of that powerful seat and you just give them.
Oh no! What it does is it allows the party to decide. Oh, well, who's going to be our senators? So you elect your representatives, and then they get paid off and figure out who's going to be our 2 senators.
Oh, you're talking about 2 things: money and politics.
No. That's exactly
money and
what
politics, and then the how it actually works.
The 17th Amendment. Yeah, okay. That's the senators. Being elected or
directly
appointed.
elected.
You should go into this a little bit deeper because when you explained this to me before on why the 17th should be abolished, I didn't understand why or what the standpoint was. But it's very interesting.
Because the way that you select them makes no difference because you're just selecting a congressman and you're just making that race really expensive. Because you can vote, when you go vote in federal elections.
Shit, dude.
When you go vote in federal elections, you're picking 2 senators no matter where you reside in the state, right? You pick one and you pick one, right? The only difference between a congressman and a senator is how much money is pushed into the race.
Well,
Which
besides
kinda,
that, they're two separate parts of the government. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, well, no, well, yeah, but those two senators are the same, right? But when you're talking about how the 17th Amendment, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
right.
it's supposed to be
Your Cuban showing.
the topic, and here I'll talk philosophically a sec when it comes to a senator. It's supposed to be, a senator is supposed to be the best of us, right? Senator is supposed to be either somebody influential or somebody financially fucking wealthy. And it was supposed to knock them,
Well,
knock them down.
I don't agree with either one of those fucking things. Like, that's ridiculous. He's supposed to be financially wealthy. What do you want?
Yes, it's supposed to be. That's why it was called the House of Lords, because it was people that have been successful.
No, it's not the House of Lords. That's why we got out of that country.
No. We
fucking
called it
asshole.
something different, and our framers decided this is a good system because it captures both the people's vote, right, and the intelligence that comes with your country, right? You get the best.
So you think you're smarter than? Oh, I get it, man.
Do you think that you're smarter than Donald Trump?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Oh wait,
of
sorry.
course I fucking do.
Sorry. No.
Why aren't you president?
Of course I do. Well, because I didn't grow up with.
Why don't you
daddy's
have
money.
employees? Why didn't you have employees? Yeah, but daddy's money can
It's a
blow. You can
difference-
blow
There's
daddy's
a difference
money.
between being
You could
smart
blow
and
daddy's
having
money without a
business sense,
problem.
right?
You could blow daddy's money, but he's made
You
an
think
empire
you're-
out
do
of
you
it. And
think
he's
you're-
won. He's the 45th and 47th president of the United States.
Right.
So,
And
so
he's
you
an
could be
imbecile,
rich,
and you
could
and-
be
and-
you could be
and-
poor
hey,
and dumb, and you could be rich and dumb, but you can't be rich and stupid.
I've known you.
You can't be rich and stupid. Dan Bilzerian.
You can't.
I've known you long enough to know, and I know you will never admit it in public, but you know he's an idiot.
No, he's not an
You know
idiot. He's
Okay.
extremely
I
intelligent.
know you. I know you know that.
He took out
But it's
17,
okay.
I believe the number is 17 Republicans in 2016. Powerful establishment Republicans, senators, congressmen, business fucking moguls. And he came in
Beating
down a golden
Lindsey
escalator and he
Graham
took it.
and
Not
Yeah,
only that,
where-
I mean,
let me ask
not
you a
only that,
question.
though.
Let me ask you a question, Enrique. Where is that guy at now? Where is that guy?
What guy?
Where is that guy that did that?
He's there.
No, he's
He
not.
just- yes,
It's
yes, he
absolutely
is.
not.
No,
He's
no, he's-
absolutely.
he's-
That
Sure
Donald
is
Trump
there.
back
You
then and
might-
the Donald Trump
you
that
might
now
disagree.
is not the same person.
You might disagree on
The Donald Trump that
on-
I voted for in 2024 and the Donald Trump that I voted for in
definitely.
16 is not the same
I
fucking
agree
person.
with you. He is 10 times
Hoorah.
better now. He is 10 times better now than he was in the first term.
No, he's not.
He is
I disagree.
tenfold.
I disagree.
Listen, you could be like, oh well, I don't like what he did over here in the Middle East. I don't like what he's doing with Israel. I don't like what he's doing with Iran. But undoubtedly, this term is 10 times better than the first term.
Is it?
How? Like, what's he done that you're
What?
proud of?
I like that he's actually trying to at least fight the deep state goons and everything.
Is the D state in Iran?
Look,
Is that where they are?
A
You
lot
could
of people-
disagree. That's fine. You could say,
Yeah,
hey, I agree with you there.
I disagree
Starting
with the
a
Iran war. I
neocon
wish we
war,
never
like-
got into it. And I don't even, I'm not even going to defend that, to be honest with you. But like, a lot of people sit there and oh, Trump's not doing anything that he campaigned on. Yes, he is. Like, every single thing this man does gets tied up in court, though. Like, the guy can't even paint a fucking reflection pool without Democrats taking it to fucking court. I mean, like, can you not deny that? Like, literally everything the guy does is in court. Like, and
Well, if he
look, a lot of
if he
this stuff is
painted
still
it
making
right,
its way through.
then maybe.
A lot of stuff-
Listen,
a
I'm
lot
not
of
going to
stuff still
say
making its way through courts.
I'm not going to say that there are things that Donald Trump has done that I'm not saying everything that he has done I disagree with. Right? He's done. I believe that he's done good. But the problem is where it comes out where the bad is starting to outweigh the good. Right? So
It is.
you have to buy your oil on the weekends because during the week the price the stock we're playing a stock market game here in Iran, right? We're playing the price of oil game, and there's a lot of really rich people that are friends of his that are making themselves richer by him playing this game. Listen, look, you can like the war, you can not like the war, you can whatever you want to do, but it's becoming a fucking game, right? And and it's playing with the people's fucking lives here in the fucking states, right? When you're not going to be able to afford fucking gasoline to get to work to support your family, with everything that's going on, when we start sending, because eventually it's going to happen, we are going to have boots on the ground in Iran, and when that happens, then your sons and daughters are going to start fucking dying, right?
Yeah.
You know the
Reno, it's the same. We keep hearing the same.
Listen, the
fucking
success of
neocon
war is
arguments.
not. The success of war is not judged by how many bombs we drop or how much land we take. The price of war is judged by the bodies that come home in caskets.
I'm gonna tell you this. For 10 years now, our thirst and our anger is like there's no amount of good that a person does that is going to be enough for us, right? Because we've been pissed off for so long, and I understand that. And the thing with your argument, Reno, is when you're talking about boots on the ground in American lives, I share those views. But the thing is, it hasn't happened, right? It hasn't happened. He hasn't sent troops in. Yes, there was 15, I believe 15, you know the number, 15 lives lost in that 13 lives lost in that first, and that's tragic.
Okay.
But look at his first term.
Well, what are you going to say when it does happen? Well,
I'll tell you-
now it's happening.
Okay, I get it. And
I don't know what to do.
But you're judging him on a precog, right? I think the president knows that if he puts boots on the ground, that's it. His legacy's done. And look, when that happens, you could go back to this
I don't
podcast.
want my president to go online and say, I'm going to wipe out an entire fucking civilization.
I mean, sometimes you got to be forceful in the things. Look,
Hey,
I was forceful. Hold on.
No, you don't. You don't. The fucking president is supposed to be a diplomat first.
No. We have.
Are
we
you
have a
really
fucked up-
surprised the man known for making mean tweets and being an asshole is making mean tweets, being an asshole? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what he does. That's what he fucking voted him in for.
And like
Doesn't
that
mean he's
fear,
not a motherfucker.
that fear causes people not to fuck with him, right?
Oh, no, it
And-
doesn't. It hasn't proven that in Iran. They're still fucking around.
But hey, it proved it with North Korea. Everybody
I-
made the same arguments. Oh my God, he's saying this stuff to Kim Jong Un. Kim
That
Jong
is
Un's
such
gonna
a
bomb us.
stupid
What's-
argument.
It didn't do shit.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look this up. You guys argue for a second.
I seriously, I just cannot. Like, look, man, I remember being, Reno's a vet, and we had different experiences in our military service, but I just happened to be on the ship that fired the first missiles, USS Donald Cook, at Iraq, and I remember thinking, this is a terrible fucking idea. I was in no danger, like I never was in, any kind of like combat or whatever. But I was like, man, this is a really fucking bad idea. But I did my job because you're supposed to, that's what you signed up for. You do the thing. But I was like, man, this is a really, really bad idea. And I'm hearing the same neocon arguments from these-
well, exactly. Yes, I will absolutely. Yeah, I will correct that. I will take mean tweets over what we threw under Biden. Listen, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not in any way, shape, or form advocating for Biden. What I'm saying is that I'm not dumb. I'm not a dumb person, right? And I watched a man stand on stage and make promises, and some of those promises he kept, and some of the promises he didn't keep. But the promises that he didn't keep are going to get Americans killed.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I just think we could walk away from this if we wanted to. Like, we really could do that, and we're not going to, because I think that his ego is going to preclude us from doing that. And we could get out of this. I don't know how you feel about that, Zach, but
Hey, like
guys,
I said, man, like I'm not a fan of the Iran war, and like I said, I'm not really one to sit here and defend it because it's affected me. Gas prices, I got paid for premium gas in my car. It's $5 a gallon sometimes. That's ridiculous. But I'm not gonna. But I know Iranians are just as egotistical as people claim Trump to be. We had a ceasefire for a little bit, and they thought it was necessary to bomb one of our freaking helicopters. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, can we just end the damn war already? Like, but you know, it seems like the neocons who are in Trump's ear, and then the Iranians, they're continuing this thing unnecessarily, and that's just my opinion.
So you
and
judge
what the,
you judge
what
a
the
person.
solution is, I don't know.
You
I don't
judge a
know.
person by not his words. You judge a person by his actions.
Absolutely.
And here are the numbers. George H.W. Bush from 1989 to 1993, 380 troop deaths. Clinton, 1993 to 2001, about 100 to 200 deaths. George W. Bush, 4,500 to 5,000 deaths. Obama, 2009 to 2017, at 2,500 deaths. And I think that number actually has a plus next to it. Trump, 2017 to 2021. What do you think the number is?
I don't know, 0.
67.
Okay. Hey.
Biden, 2021 to 2025, 100 deaths. Trump in 2025, 17.
Term's not over, though.
Term's not over. No, you're right. You're right. But we're judging based on what he says and what he's going to do. But we could only
I'm judging
judge
by judging by a man's words and the way
And what
that
did he-
the
what words-
escalation happened.
what words
and
did he
happens
tell
and
you
happens.
about
like
the Middle
if
East?
you don't prepare for the worst, then you'll never accept you know the good, right? And I'm preparing for the worst, right? When we put boots on the ground, and you can say, oh, it's not going to happen, and oh, we don't have boots on the ground until the day that we do have boots on the ground, and then you're going to be like, well, I don't have an argument now, right? But at that point in time, it's too late, right? It's too late. It's too late to say, oh, well, we don't have boots on the ground, but when we do have boots on the ground, what then?
I'm getting a call from a prison. I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's a bad thing.
But
Enrique, though,
but here we do have
think
to.
he sounded okay? You think he sounded okay tonight?
I think he sounded okay. He was just raspy. He was energetic.
Hey, leave him
It was
alone, man. He
energetic.
hangs
It
out
was
with
Trump.
RFK Jr. a lot, man. They're rubbing off on each other.
As
He's been hanging out with
JFK Jr., this is what
Well,
I
it's
don't
none
get.
of my. Look, if they're rubbing off on each other, that's none of my business. But what I'm saying
Hey,
is,
if
I
has
think that
RFK
he
Jr.
didn't sound-
attempted to
he
just
didn't sound
cough
good.
really hard?
I know, right? You should do that.
Like,
You should
Either
try
that or
it.
you
every
should get
time I see RFK
get
Jr.
one of
talk,
those,
I'm like, just clear your throat, bro.
You should get one of those belts that vibrates, and it could just vibrate him the whole time, and maybe you'll fucking.
We'll be here. We'll be here all night. I kind of want to get down. So
yeah,
this is
yeah.
kind of like a 2-on-2 thing. It's impossible to ask Zach questions, like for me to ask Zach questions, because I think we agree on everything from what I've heard. But Patty, I want to ask you something about, and we're going to talk about the main topic of tonight, which is the foreign influence and the foreign interference in the election. And like, I'll start it with these basic questions, and then we'll get into back and forth. Do you think it is possible for another country to either get into our election system or through another means of either printing out ballots or some type of mean of influence to change the results of an election, a local election?
Sure.
Do you think that there's motivation by those countries that he named to change the results of the election?
So you're talking about China, Venezuela,
Russia,
Russia,
the adversaries,
Yo,
access.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And do you think that there is stealing of elections in the United States one way or another?
No.
No. You think our elections are free and fair?
I think our elections are, I think they've been unsuccessful in trying to do that. Now, what I do think is true is that foreign countries, whether it's Russia or China or Venezuela, or, you could pick your country, do engage in influence peddling. And the easy way to do that is on social media. So definitely they're trying to do that. Now, that's not necessarily something that you can say change votes. So it's not really illegal.
Well, not change votes, but I'd say here's my take.
It's
I think you
influencing.
could. I think you could change votes. I
Well,
think
no,
these machines.
Okay. Well, I would need to see some actual evidence that's actually shown me that a machine had a vote that was cast for one person, one candidate, but was flipped for the other. If you could show me that, then I would be all with you, man. But nobody's ever shown me that, and you guys will never show that because it's never actually happened.
Well,
So-
okay, so let's talk about the machines really quick because this is, I guess, this is the last question.
Those
before
means
we
were
go back.
made in Venezuela, weren't they?
So these companies, these companies that create these voting machines, I had somebody from South Korea on the other day. That's very technical, and he had like the chips up, and he was explaining it, and I was trying to get him to explain it as easy as possible. So companies that build those machines are small companies. They're not super large companies. So if Apple, which is considerably one of the largest, if not the largest tech company in the world,
Right.
has vulnerabilities in its iPhone, do you not think that these small companies have vulnerabilities when it comes to personnel and devices and software? Is it
Sure, I
possible?
think
I'm not saying that you haven't. Like, there's no evidence yet. I agree. Maybe
Yeah.
when he puts this up on the White House website, we say different. But
Yeah, but here's the problem, right? So I can agree with you that there could be a vulnerability because really in any computer system, there can be a vulnerability, right?
yeah,
So just the fact that there is a potential vulnerability does not mean that it was rigged against you, right? But that's what the president is trying to say. That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, well, if there's any kind of imperfection in this, then I won and you lost. And this is like a 9-year-old spoiled brat kind of way to decide things. Like if I win, I win, and if you win, I win. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. Like the whole thing is silliness. It's just you prove that there was actual vote switching. Fine. If it actually exists the way that you say it does, you would be able to prove it technically. But you'll never prove it technically because it doesn't exist. Because it's all silly and it's been 6 years and it's getting really, really, really boring to the American people and nobody wants to hear that shit. And I think that's why you're going to lose so badly in the 2026 midterms because everybody's gotten so fucking bored of this shit.
I think.
Just bored.
I'll disagree with you at the end there. That's the reason why we're going to lose. There's no motivation for Trump supporters to come out because they just feel like everything's fake and gay, right? They can't pass the SAVE Act. That's another question I have for you, Patty. The SAVE Act. Obviously, we know that most Americans want like some type of federal voter ID to vote.
Sure.
Most Americans.
Yeah.
But the actual representatives don't even want it. We're not even close to passing it. Like even if you kill the filibuster, we still don't have the votes to pass.
Oh, the problem is that you're not, and the problem is that you're not going to get the fucking close
Yeah.
to it,
Right.
which is fucking stupid, which is horrible. Yeah,
But
absolutely. I would
it's
have loved to
eventually
have.
going to get passed.
I would love
it's-
to have it fucking passed.
I
right?
actually do
mean,
have a
like,
question for Zach.
Yeah.
I actually do have a question for Zach. So hold on a second.
I mean,
So
we would all
I,
love
ha-
to
I
have
have
it
a
passed.
I have a question for Zach. So when it comes to the SAVE Act, right? What is it that makes them not want to pass this? I'm just going to ask a general question first.
I mean, I think we kind of like touched base on it a little bit earlier, and it just has to do with the fact that like both sides essentially are utilizing voter fraud to some degree. And I wouldn't say it's like the popular blue collar guy who runs for office and just has a fair election or whatever and wins. I'm talking the rhinos that have held on to their seat for decades. Those kind of people that they're part of the establishment, the deep state, or you want to call it, or tied in with the deep state. It's these kind of people, and they're both on the left and right side. I think it has a lot to do with that. I mean, like, why else would a Republican not want to? Like, the biggest accusation to the left is that the left commits massive amounts of voter fraud, mostly with illegals, without IDs. And look, I can tell you this right now. You could go on California's voter website right now, and you can make up an address, make up a name, and bypass any sort of ID or Social Security, and you could be a registered voter. That's a real thing, and you could do it in Pennsylvania too. You can bypass ID, your ID number and everything, and you could do this in a lot of these Democrat states. So to sit here and say like, oh, like that it's a physical impossibility of voter fraud? No, absolutely not. Let me point this out.
Zach, though.
Hold on a second, because this a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people are praising the dismantling of the USAID and saying that like, oh, Elon Musk helps flip a lot of countries in South America from communist to right wing. No. That stuff happened before Trump was even president. Like when Milei was elected president of Argentina. Argentina was a communist country before. Half of South America was communist. Okay, Biden opened the floodgates, opened the border, and all these communists came up from South America, and they came to America, and literally most of the entire continent down there is right wing now. So tell me why are we voting in all these communists like Mamdani in New York City? I mean, it's not a coincidence. Like they're here. And they're voting illegally. They're not here legally at all, And if we had voter registration, ID, all that, it would completely take them off the board. Completely take all these people off the board. And it's something that we need that more than anything, But these communists know who their allies are. They know that there's rhinos, aka undercover communists in the Republican Party. They know who their allies are, and they know who the people are that they're supposed to continuously vote for. So that's realistically what it comes down to.
So you say something here before. I'm going to be really quick. I'm going to be very brief. And I think that you just touted one of Trump's biggest achievements that isn't really talked about on the Western Hemisphere. If you look at the map. He has converted all of South America almost red. There's only blue pockets, and that we've only been in for 2 years. Colombia, right? Red. Bukele, red. The Brazilian election's not going to go. Lula is gone. Maduro, gone. Physically. And is anybody going to argue with me that Cuba, before Trump leaves office, is gone?
I think you misunderstood what I was saying.
No. I understood it. I was just saying that
Biden's the reason why South America is going red because he let all the communists into America.
Yeah. They fled all their communist countries. They come here,
and I get it. But as far as like foreign policy, and it's coming now. Like, look at the fucking map. And those are numbers, and those are solid numbers you can look at. And it's black. It's black and white. It's red and blue.
I don't live in South America. I live in
Global
North
politics,
America,
global
where all those
politics
commies
don't matter.
fled to when Biden opened the fucking borders.
Yeah, but look, global politics is global politics. Patty, go ahead.
All right. So the mechanics of voting, right, is if I decide I want to, vote in somebody else's name, if I want to commit voter fraud, what I have to do is I have to know their address, I have to know their name, I have to go into the voting place, and I have to give both of those things and then go vote, right? And I also have to know that they haven't voted yet, because if they did, then I can't do it, because they get crossed off the voter rolls, because as soon as you go in and you put your name in, they cross you off the voter rolls, and then you give your ballot, right? So do you understand how silly it is to think that you could have a massive group of people vote fraudulently? You can't, because I got to know my address, I got to know my name, and you could not have voted for me. So what do I have to kill a bunch of people or keep them out of pay them to stay away, and then I go vote for them? This is absolutely.
Do
absurd.
you know how many states that you don't have to show an ID to vote?
No, I didn't interrupt you. I'm just saying you don't have to show an ID, but you have to know your address, and you have to know your name, and then you have to go vote once, and then you're crossed off the rolls, and nobody can vote in your name after that. What you guys don't want to understand, what you don't want to, have to realize, is that voter fraud is almost always committed accidentally. And when it is, it's like so infinitesimal. What you guys can't do is accept that you got your ass kicked. Sometimes you get your ass kicked in a democracy. I don't like the fact that Donald Trump got elected in 2024, but he did. We got our asses kicked. And I can tolerate that. I can deal with it because that's what being in a fucking democratic republic is. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to do
Are we in
for
a
you.
democratic? Are we in a democracy, a democratic republic,
I'm so
or
happy.
what are we in?
I'm so happy Zach scared you into saying Democratic Republic.
No, I'm saying
so
that's
happy.
what it.
We're
That's
a
what
constitutional
it is, man.
republic.
Constitutional
Patrick.
Republic.
Well, I'm
Constitutional
not.
republic.
But I'm okay with losing sometimes. I mean, like shit. Like I'm gonna
Oh
be
no,
honest
you're
with you.
not. Stop it, that
Hey,
shit.
listen, man.
You are
Like,
not.
I was passionate about Ron Paul back in 2012, and you know that man lost, and I was like, I'm not voting for Romney. Romney's a freaking piece of crap. I'm not voting for him. I didn't vote at all. I voted for Ron Paul in the primaries. I packed it in. I said Romney's not gonna be any different than Obama, and that was that. You know, I lived my life for the next 4 years, but like. The mail-in ballot scheme is so fraudulent because, like I said earlier, how easy it is to fraudulently register to vote. Like I said, go pull it up right now, dude. You could literally register to vote with a fake name and fake address.
Fuck
Like,
that.
seriously.
If you have somebody's address, if you register to vote, and you don't even have to, in some states, you don't even have to ask for a mail-in ballot. If your address is there, they're going to send it to you.
Yeah.
They're going
And it's
to
like, you mean to tell me,
Listen,
like, if my grandma's 99 years old and she's got Alzheimer's, you know, and she's like shaking in a corner, she doesn't know anything
what?
about anything. What?
She got what?
Alzheimer's. And she's in a whatever,
Old timers,
dementia,
old
whatever.
timers, Patrick. Old timers. Yeah.
It's a Philly accent, all right?
Wait.
Leave me alone.
All right.
No, it's not an accent. It's a
Listen,
Yeah.
let's just
All right.
let's
I
hope
know how to
Yankees.
spell
Chill out,
Alzheimer's. all right?
chill out,
It's-
Yankees.
Whatever,
So
whatever,
what
whatever,
has-
man. Anyway. The point is, if you get a mail-in ballot sent, you know, my 99-year-old grandma who doesn't know what's going on, doesn't even know what day it is, you know, you mean to tell me that it's impossible for me to just fill out the application
Here-
for her and mail it back? I mean, come on, man. That's just being unreasonable.
No, here's the thing. You guys are the kids that used to take your ball and run home when you lost because you were too much of a pussy to actually try and win the game. That's what you guys are. And that's a reality that you're going to have to deal with for the rest of your lives. And I don't understand why you were so
what do you got-
girly, but you are. You know,
Well, what do you got to say about the Democrats who said that mail-in ballots were, you know, ripe for fraud before this ever happened? I mean, what was it? Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter said it. I mean, he's your bully, right? He's a Democrat. Come on, man.
At least my side can tell a boy from a girl. So
all of a sudden, because mail-in ballots were used to defeat Trump, now all of a sudden mail-in ballots are the most trustworthy thing in the fucking world. I mean, come on, dude. Like you're not being honest with yourself.
Is it crazy to me? Is it crazy to me when you look at the numbers of mail-in ballots? And then I'm gonna kind of we're gonna close in a way because we're gonna get into another topic here.
Yeah, right.
But is it crazy to you that it should be like mail-in ballots should be a little bit equal, right? Because there's just as much older people that just can't go vote, right? And that's usually the mail-in ballot thing. There's only a few people that like work too much or work overseas that they need to vote by mail. Why is it so lopsided?
it's a good question.
You know, why is it so lopsided? And I think that and all the seeds, everything that we've talked about here is that all the seeds for corruption and for federal meddling and for federal interference is there.
Was that mail-in ballot so lopsided before 2020?
Yeah, it was still lopsided. It's been lopsided for years.
I haven't done the research.
It was never done at the extent that it was done in 2020.
I was going to say
Prior
2020
it was like absentees
insane.
and military were like the only ones that were able to do mail-in ballots. But for
Right.
2020, it was like everybody was able to do mail-in
Right.
ballots.
So when I was in Korea, we had, you know, it was time to vote or whatever, and I that was, dude, to get a mail-in ballot it was a pain in the ass. But if you wanted it, you could get it. It's just a pain in the ass. But that was, to my understanding, was just it. Military shut-ins,
I got mine
whatever.
today. Actually, you saying it's fraudulent? Like, I mean, come on, man.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody said.
You are.
Wait, here. I'm gonna ask you.
I said it's right for fraud. The fact that people just get, like California, like Enrique said, everybody who's registered to vote receives a ballot. So, there's people that are dead. There's people that are incompetent, and they don't want to vote, but they're receiving ballots and everything like that. And who's to say? Let's say I have 10 people living in my house and nobody wants to vote for me. I could literally just fill out their ballots for them. Now, who the hell's going to know?
I can't pull it up on my phone.
There's not 10 people who would live in your house in the first place.
Guys, hold on.
No, my house. I have a two-bedroom house in Philadelphia. Really small house. It's not happening.
Let me take control of this a second. I'm just going to show you the numbers. I don't have it pulled up here, but you could see all the blue there, and that's where it's at. Right. But here, I'm going to ask you something, Patty, since you brought it up.
Right. Over time.
You said, yeah, we got to check overtime. You said that you just got a mail-in ballot at your house.
Yeah,
correct?
I did.
Okay. So if your wife got a mail-in ballot, how hard is it for you to fill it out and send it back?
No, not at all.
Okay. So
you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, it's not hard. No, he said yes. It's not hard at all.
Oh, I thought he said no. Not going to happen.
No, it's not hard at all. So
yeah, because you know what? That's the kind of shit that Zach. I kind of take offense to that kind of shit because you assumed that I was going to do something nefarious when I actually went and fucking testified for you. You fucking jerk off.
No, Zach.
Man, wow.
So you can kiss my fucking ass.
I thought I heard you say something else. Like, come on, man.
No, you didn't.
Wait.
Let
me take control here.
No.
Hold on.
I misunderstood what you said, bro. Like,
no,
don't
you didn't.
take it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Hey, guys. Okay.
All right, man. Come on, dude.
I got more numbers.
Maybe we straighten you out sometime.
Hey.
Your fridge needs to cut you off.
Look at the numbers by years.
Fuck this.
Hey guys, look at the numbers. Throw the microphone, please. Look at the numbers by years, right?
Yeah.
And that tells a story, but we're just seeing numbers. So let's get to the action phase of what just happened. Right? Is what actions are to be taken. When he's on the sauce, he is gone.
Dog. His fucking refrigerator need to cut him off.
What really happened, and he doesn't want to say it, is he's been drinking all day. He's got to go take a fucking piss.
He admitted
he did admit that he's been drinking all day.
So
it's cool. I got to take a piss soon. I'm drinking too.
I'm about to close it. I'm about to close it out. So I think, Zach, in the very beginning, I think even before we started listening to it, you said something very important.
Okay.
There's 2 years left in this administration. There's 5 years. There's a statute of limitations on 5 years on almost every crime, right? That's usually the limit. There's other crimes that are 4, some are 3, some are 10, but usually the average of 90% of the crimes listed is 5 years. So what is it that they can do? I don't know. Even if you take away the statute of limitations and you were to arrest somebody now, they can delay the case till after 2028. Yeah. Right? They could just push the case. And I've made this example millions of times. There's J6ers that got arrested in January of 2021, right after January 6th. And they were able to push their case all the way through the next election of Donald J. Trump. So what can he do? I don't know. We haven't gotten the documents yet. I've been refreshing the White House page. I've been looking at the ODNI Twitter. I've been looking at Bill Pulte's Twitter. I have not seen anything. Here's another, and then here I'm kind of gonna lean into Patty a little bit here since he's not here. I gotta equal this out.
I could play Patty. So.
I believe that Donald Trump is trying to pass the SAVE Act no matter what. And I think it'll be his greatest achievement as president. If that's all he does for his 4 years, then it'll be worth it. Free and fair elections are probably the most important thing to us because we get to pick our leaders. We get to pick the direction of our own country, which is what the basis of the republic is. So is tonight's push theatrics? in pushing to get the Save America Act and put the pressure on Senator Thune and Senator McConnell whenever he leaves the coffin, even if he's alive. I do think he's alive, but I made the joke there.
He lives in a coffin, though.
Or Senator Lindsey Graham's sister, how is she going to vote for the SAVE Act? So is this a push by the president? I guess I'll ask an open-ended question to both of you. Is this a push by the president to kind of push the SAVE Act and put pressure on those politicians? We'll start with Zach.
Yeah, and I kind of said that after after watching the video, and I was like, I kind of hope it leads to that. And I was saying that because I feel like this is what he did this for, honestly. And I don't think the average person in America understands like the extent of potential voter fraud or whatever. And I think that's why he's harped on the 2020 election so much, is because, I mean, for one, I mean, it was an election stolen against him. You know what I mean? Like, and mail-in ballots. We're never going to have free and fair elections if we have mail-in ballots. You know, I mean, I don't care what anybody says, they're not reliable. There's many ways to commit fraud, and they need to go. It needs to go. And Democrats supported this before President Trump lost an election on it. You know, now all of a sudden all these Democrats support mail-in ballots. Oh, they're reliable. Blah blah blah. Like, give me a freaking break. No, they're not. You know they're not. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Democrats. It's like they were against illegal immigration until they realized they can get voters out of them. Now all of a sudden illegal immigrants they're just humans. They belong here. They're allowed to be here, and yada yada yada. And it's just like, give me a break. Give me a break. You only support it because it's helping you, and that's it. You know, and I'm an American first. I care about America first, and I want our elections to be fair. And I've read the Save America Act. You know, like there's nothing in it that disadvantages either side unless you're committing fraud. That's it. You know, it requires an ID. It's not rocket science here. You need an ID for everything. Literally everything. You can't get on an airplane without an ID. You know what I mean? So don't sit here and tell me, you have a right to make a decision that affects hundreds of millions of other Americans without providing an ID. Amen. That's it. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. Reno, same question. If you want me to, I'll repeat it just in case.
No, I know.
Do you think this is a push by the president?
I believe it is. I believe it is. I believe it's a push for the Save America Act. I also, let's hope that when they do put the information on the website, that they actually have something. The problem is that I don't think that even if they have anything, that anything's going to happen. You know, I've lost a lot of faith in anything happening with this administration or this government. You know, we've had a list of pedophiles that have come out and nothing's happened. We've had we've had so much shit that has happened with this administration and nothing. We get investigations. We're going to investigate the investigations of the investigators, right? Mm-hmm. And the American people are becoming smarter, right? They're not as stupid as they were. And so it's our duty to call things out like that as an American, right? If there's things that are happening in our government that we don't like, then we have the duty to call it out. Yeah. But yeah, I do. I think that I also think that it's also kind of out of desperation because they know that midterms is going to be brutal for them. Unfortunately, it's going to be brutal for them. Thank God we live in Florida and we can, maybe. Well, you know what? No, I take that back. Maybe not because we live in Florida, because we haven't had a debate for our governorship. So, but
good way to remind me about something that I have to say at the end.
Yeah. Also have to ask Zach. I'm going to take a line from a very good movie. What kind of America First are you?
That's such a good movie. It's like a slow paced, like great movie.
What kind of American are you?
And that's like, it's a really complex question in a sense. I mean, obviously, I mean, like, all I care about is America first. I mean, and that means I don't agree with free trade in countries that have like no labor laws kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like if they're equal in labor laws with us, then like sure we can have free trade with them. But I don't like anything that puts America at a disadvantage with other countries and everything like that. And that's kind of like why I kind of sort of like the tariffs that Trump was doing. A lot of people protested against it, and they said that it's going to increase costs and this and that. Well, no, the only thing it would increase costs temporarily, but realistically, the laws of supply and demand are going to dictate the prices of consumer goods one way or the other. They call it the law of supply and demand for a reason. So, like, I wasn't really worried about that after everything settles. It's just like when a company goes IPO for the first time or goes public, like with SpaceX, it skyrockets, but then it levels out a little bit. It's the same thing with taxes. It might go high for temporarily, but then the market will settle.
What's the angle on that arm, sir?
What's up?
Yeah,
Watch the angle on that arm, sir.
That's going to be on it. Oh, it's real zone.
No, that's it. That's it. Nazi boy.
Yeah. But I was a fan of the no wars and everything like that. That's why I'm kind of little questionable about this Iran war thing, and I hope it ends really soon. But with that, I think Trump got a little confident after Venezuela, and I think he thought he was going to be able to be in and out with Iran, but this is the Middle East, man. Like, these motherfuckers have been going at it for thousands of years, dude. Like, just leave them the hell alone. Let them fight their own fucking wars and just get the hell out of there, man. I'm over to the Middle East.
Yeah, but the problem is, Zach, is that we're here now, right? So we're here now.
Yeah.
So what now? I mean, it's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't count wars by what I'm paying for gas. It's like I said, it's by bodies that come home in caskets.
All right, let's start closing out the show. I mean, look, I keep refreshing it. We'll see when it comes up. I'll write an article on it when it comes up. Let me see if tomorrow morning it's up, and I'll write an article right after that. So let's do some closing. Any last words, and given your plugs, Zach?
Given my what?
Yeah, any plugs you have, and any last words you have about all of this?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I still have confidence President Trump's going to do the right thing, and I hope he is. People might laugh at me about it, but a lot of people aren't really paying attention to the fact that sometimes people get bad advice, and sometimes Democrats tie him up in courts with stuff. So I know a lot of the stuff he's doing, and a lot of his campaign promises. It's not that he didn't follow through with his campaign promise. It's a lot of the stuff is just being tied up in courts, and he's winning a lot of these cases in Supreme Court. These D.C. judges, district court judges, these appeals court judges, a lot of them they rule against him. But he's got a 93% win rate in the Supreme Court, and almost everything that he takes to the Supreme Court and ends up going there. You only hear about the big cases that he loses. Like the birthright citizenship one. That sucked. And shame on Amy Coney Barrett for ruling against that. Roberts don't surprise me, but it is what it is. We're not going to win them all, but 93% is a pretty damn good win rate. Have some faith, presidency last 4 years, we don't have boots on the ground yet, and hopefully they never happen. So I'm not one to assume that things are going to happen. And I hope they don't, and hopefully Trump's able to negotiate a deal. I mean, it's just something he's ran his whole life on. I mean, he wrote a whole book about it, Art of the Deal, So have a little faith. That's all I say.
Yeah. All right. Where can people find you, Zach?
You can find me on X, at Zach Real, Zach_Real, or ZACH_REHL. And, I'm on Facebook too. You can add me on there, either one. I don't care. And that's it. Yep.
All right. Reno.
I'm working on some stuff, man. I'm working on things. I got things working coming up. We don't know. We'll figure it out. And then we did a war stream last night. You couldn't hear any of us except for Enrique, but
I fixed that.
Hopefully we can get that done. We got mid-season coming up, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you want to follow me, I'm on X. I'm at Reno PC1FL. If you do follow me, I'm probably gonna say stuff that's gonna piss you off, but that's okay. That's a good. Yeah. The free market of ideas is always a good thing, right?
Amen. All right, so two things. in the last couple weeks, I've had the pleasure of focusing on the governor's race here in Florida. I'd say there's four major candidates that are running. And just recently, last week, three of those candidates got up on stage, minus one. And I'm proud to announce. Actually, before I'm proud to announce, I had James Fishback on the show. You guys can check it out at the Warboy Studios Twitter account. And I'm proud to announce that the other two candidates have agreed to a sit down. Tomorrow night, we're going to be airing an interview with our Lieutenant Governor, Jay Collins, in studio. That's going to run at 7 p.m. at night. I will be recording with Paul Renner, I believe on Saturday or Monday, and whatever day it falls on, I will be releasing the interview with Paul Renner. I've reached out to Byron Donalds' media team. I have not gotten a reply back. But as we get closer, not that my endorsement matters, and I'm not even going to call it an endorsement, but in the next coming weeks, I'm going to make a decision on who I'm going to put a check mark next to. And hopefully with the three interviews that you see, you'll be able to check and see who you want to run, who you want to be on the Republican ticket against whatever Democrat is going to be running in the state. I'd say it's pretty hard we have four good candidates. I'm just going to say it like that. We have four really good candidates. You could shit on them for like little things here and there, but for the most part, this is the first time that I've ever worked an election where I'm torn. In 2018, I supported DeSantis off rip. I knew he was a little bit socially awkward, but I knew he was a doer. And I knew that he was a culture warrior, somebody that knows that you have to fight the culture first and then go for the legislation. And that's what he's done. He's been the best governor that Florida's ever seen, at least in my eyes. James Fishback, energetic, new ideas, and his document where if he doesn't keep his campaign promises, that means he won't be able to legally run for re-election is amazing. Paul Renner has been an amazing Speaker of the House during that time, passing DeSantis' agenda. Byron Donalds has been an amazing congressman, whether you like him or not. I know that there's a lot of people that watch us that don't. And Jay Collins, somebody that our governor has picked to be the lieutenant governor, just in case something happens to him. He's the one that's going to take the wheel for Florida. So there's something to be said about that. So we'll listen to him tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Paul Renner, either Saturday night or Monday night. And I have a really cool announcement. Obviously, today is a busy news night, so there's not a huge viewership here. I think we're just shy of 800 viewers on our podcast right now. So I'd rather tell it to a small group because I'm going to be announcing it tomorrow. Usually we get on this show and we announce the 1776.shop website. And it's a plug, and you hear me going back and forth with Barry, and you see me mute him. Well, let me tell you something. The 1776.shop is no more. You could use the URL, and it'll take you to another site. But our new website that includes everything from our merchandise to how you can follow Zach or Reno and take a look at the podcasts that they run, and to actually a new feature is news articles. News articles right now is most of our hosts have the capability to write articles on there. Right now we have Kim, myself, and another host having articles. And then we have AI generated articles that are curated for the most part. They have an AI warning on top. I do kind of scan them, but it's short breaking news, so it doesn't have too much opinion on it. So I'm proud to announce that we have launched warboys.tv as a website. And as you can see, you have the latest episodes, the sites. There's a couple things that we got to work on. But here, your 7 shows are right here where you can go ahead and click Zach. And you have Zach's profile. Here you could follow Zach on Twitter. You could message him on Telegram. And you could shop his merch whenever he decides to put that back out. And right here, you have the latest episodes of Zach, Real Time with Zach, with yours truly, Enrique Tario. Also here on the newsroom. Let me bring this back really quick. Hamburger menu. And we could go to the newsroom on the feed, and the feed will come in here. and it has here you have Kim's articles, my articles, and here are the red ones are the AI generated articles, and you can go there. But it's your one-stop shop. You know, you could go ahead and you could shop. You could click on shop. Actually, let me show you some of the new merchandise that we have. We have our new design, which is our acid design. We have new T-shirts. We have new hats. We got the Derek Chauvin did nothing wrong. We have a new line made by myself that's called Noble Proverbs. This one specifically is, if you guys have seen my tweet about blue raspberries and wieners, it's on there. We redid the Heli Tours 2.0, the Pinochet helicopter tours. So there's new merchandise dropping every couple days. Please check us out. And I don't know what this terminal thing is, but you guys should definitely check it out. And let me know what you guys think. Share our podcast, share our merch. And with that, I am going to close out the show. Thank you. And Zach is not here.
Hey, Zach. How you doing?
Hey, Zach. He did say he was going to go take a piss.
Yeah, he did. He
did say
he warned us. He warned us.
He did warn us. But with that, I'll close the show. You guys can say, if you want to follow Zach, go to Zach_real on Twitter. And I'm going to close out this show. Thank you guys so much for always supporting us. And thank you for supporting
TarioBook.com.
TarioBook.com. Correct. TarioBook.com. I'm sorry. I didn't even plug my own book.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Thank you, guys. And here we go. Outro coming in.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now.